Hey folks, welcome back to our Piasa Transport playthrough on Transport Fever 2. And, I've spent some time offline here doing a couple things. One is just realizing how big and complex this map is, and we're already on episode 10. So this is kind of a milestone episode, and it could turn into an infinity of episodes if I wasn't careful. And so what I thought about is I think I'm going to do a few more things offline between sessions, tell you though what I've done at the beginning of the session, and focus really these recorded sessions on what we're doing in terms of building out our river transport system. And I've got a list here. I'm going to go through it, and I think you'll see what I mean. So I started looking at why I wasn't getting bricks in Evansville. And what happened is when we reconfigured this Evansville wharf, it deleted it from the stone brick line. Was taking, after it dropped off the stone in Louisville, would take bricks down to Evansville. And that wasn't happening anymore. So I added that back in, and it's going to take a while for that to pick back up. I also added some more delivery vehicles here in Louisville because we weren't keeping up with keeping Louisville supplied. We may have too many now, but I think it's pretty close. I also combined the fuel delivery line with the food truck line in Memphis, and we just got our first full load of fuel in Memphis, and you can see that our cargo platform isn't big enough here. So I do think we need to fix that, and right now I don't think we can make it any bigger because we're squished up against the edges. So because this is what's going to happen, these barges are going to come in, they're going to drop a huge amount, and then it's going to take a while to deliver it to the city. So let's see if we can make this a little bigger, and that probably means pushing this back too so we get a nicer line there. And we'll come into here, and now you are going to get to see some of the kind of micromanaging I was doing before. Oh, collision now. Now why is there a collision? Build it out on this side. Okay. I think what we're going to do then is we're going to swap the tools, because the tools are going to be created at a more even pace. So we can put them on this side, and we'll put that on terminal 2. Put these on terminal 1, and now we've got plenty of room. Okay, and then let's re-hook up our roads. And see if we can get this more or less at a gradual rate down to the... Oh, really didn't want that straight. Let's... Okay. All right, that's fixed now. And so what I did though is I combined them so the fuel pickup now will pick up fuel here, drop it off here, then go over to this warehouse here, pick up the completed bread, and take it back here for loading on the dock. And so that's a more efficient line, and I think it'll be better. I also moved my drop-off for the tools here in Memphis. It was down here, and it wasn't it was down here and it wasn't capturing all of the need here and here. So we weren't producing as much as we needed and weren't delivering as much as we needed. So it is now here, and it now covers all of these spots. I also put another boat on the Memphis-Evanston line, and the reason there is we had 2 boats, and the rate was around 60, I think, and that's not enough because we really need to get Memphis needs 100 in fuel, and so we needed more lines. It does kind of show off though that we are going to have some. Well, even that's not too bad. It's going to require 64. So, we're a little bit out of sync there, but not too badly. Let's see. Did I make any other changes? I think those are the... Oh, I guess the other one was I upgraded the log trucks. And I... You know what? I added enough... This was an experiment. I added enough trucks to max out deliveries. So this can actually do 400, and I wondered, can I actually get 400 rate out of my trucks? We may have to wait a little bit longer to get the final word on that because I made a whole bunch of trucks at once and sent them up here, and so they're waiting in line. What we want to do is see how long it takes for them to cycle through and whether we can avoid a bunch of gridlock up here and therefore, really be able to supply our our sawmill fully with just trucks. It's the thing I've been worried about all along there. Okay, so those are the changes we made. So what are we doing to enhance our transport today, our river transport system? What we're going to do is we're going to do the vaunted Evansville to Cincinnati to St. Louis line that we've talked about, and it's actually going to be 2 lines. So we'll start with bringing fuel up to Cincinnati, and that's going to require a new cargo station or harbor here in Cincinnati. And unfortunately, we just don't have enough room to expand here. I don't even think if we bulldoze the heck out of everything that we could really make this big enough to work and still be not awkward. So instead, I think what we're going to do is we're going to put another boat harbor down here somewhere, perhaps right here. And we'll use it to drop off the fuel and to supply steel back to Evansville to carry on to St. Louis. Okay, let's get this in. Cargo harbor. And I think what we're going to do is tell it one large dock like this. Wow, 900,000 if I put it that far. Where can I get it reasonably priced? Nowhere? Holy cow. Can't have it too far out. I think that might be about as good as we're going to get right there. 856. Wow. Okay. In. And now let's get a road up to the steel mill. And this could be a country road. And we'll get that in as close as we can. Getting better at that. I just hadn't built that many harbors before I played this particular game, this playthrough, because I have done some boat stuff before on islands, and I did a little bit of it in my initial playthrough on this map. I didn't do that much of it, and they are definitely a different animal to work with. Train stations, I think, are a lot easier. Okay, we get this in, and now let's see. Do we have reach? We do. So now all we really need to worry about, because we're going to get the steel delivered automatically to the harbor. Did we? Yeah, we did preserve. None of the existing lines are complaining, so we did barely preserve our navigable water layer there. Okay. So we need to bring our... we need a goods truck station here. And you know what? I want to get it up high just so I'm not paying quite as much. Wow, these are still all very expensive. And again, I want enough room. I don't think that would be. No. And I definitely need it at least 30, and I need to leave it where I can grow it. Expensive little build here. Oh, you know, I probably didn't need 2 platforms. Oh well. And then we need a drop off. And fortunately, the fuel is nearby. Relatively nearby. So we can run a drop off. Wow, it's too bad we couldn't have gotten the cargo harbor here because I think it would have... I think it would have supplied it automatically. I was sorry for the delay there. I was just having this thought. It's like, well, what if we knock down this building, bring this back, and maybe we can get 2 in? And I think I'm out of my mind. So, not at the moment. We've got this other one built. We're going to use it. And so we need a drop off. And I think it'd be somewhere... Let's see. So we basically have to get to over here. Much trouble seeing this with... You know, if we in order to capture this person, basically can't really go any farther than here. So we'll do that. And we will create a line. It will be at Cincinnati sidings. We will load fuel. And at 6th Street, we'll unload the fuel. Another orange line. Wait, is that not 6th Street? That's not where I wanted it. And then unload the fuel. Okay, so now we are set up with that. We have our line that we're going to name it Delivery Cincinnati Fuel. And the line is going to come out like this, around like that, and now if we put it on the other side of the street, it'd have been better. So that's what we're going to do. Got a better flow now. Okay. Done. And then let's go ahead and get some vehicles on this line so that we start to create a demand. I think I'm going to go safe and do the covered wagon because if we need, we end up using it to ship some other vehicle or other items, and it'll be able to do it. Okay, so now we have that running, and I think we should go ahead and get the we'll go ahead and get, well, you know what? Before we get the boat running, because we want to give it time. Ah, heck. I was gonna say we need to get our. We need to get our harbor in here. I think we'll put it in right here. And again with the large. I don't need to pause. Let it keep going to make us some money. Oh. I need to borrow some. I don't want to wait. Okay, and then we can hook this up with the road. I don't think we're going to need a truck station here. So this is also interesting. It's going to supply both of them. And so I don't know how that's going to play out when we drop this off here and we start dropping planks off. Are we going to end up with some of our steel being diverted over to the goods factory when it's not really producing goods yet because we don't have any chemicals? I don't know. We'll find out. So now we need a line from let's see. Well, we need to put this line in too, don't we? So let's put our we'll put both of these lines in now. We'll do a line between Evansville and Cincinnati. And this line will load fuel in Evansville and unload steel. And in Cincinnati, it will load steel and unload fuel. And we'll paint this one kind of this blue for something different. And we'll call it cargo barge, Evansville to Cincinnati. And then we'll create another line from St. Louis, or rather from Evansville again, to St. Louis. And we're going to color this kind of this steel colored again. And in Evansville, it will load steel. And in St. Louis, it will unload steel. Now, I don't particularly love this line, and I kind of held off on making it because it's a long line, which isn't the biggest problem. The biggest problem is it comes back empty, and that means it's not going to be the most efficient line. I've got some ideas on what we might be doing to drive supply across a lot of different places, and it might involve either putting Cairo on the map and putting a boat harbor here that facilitates transfer of different materials. Like you could bring down steel and drop it off here, and then maybe you could get some food here and distribute it up to here. So you could have a barge coming down to here with steel and then going back to Louisville with food. Or maybe it's doing that from Kentucky, from Lexington. So there are some other things that are required as well. I know we have a lot of, we need to get tools up here, and Lexington needs food, Louisville needs food. The bricks we can supply Lexington from Louisville, but there are some needs up here that we still aren't meeting, and it may be that we're going to end up using something here to drive things between the Ohio and the upper Mississippi and the lower Mississippi, be a warehouse and exchange goods. That's what Cairo was. It is now literally almost a ghost town in Illinois, but in the heyday, it was a shipping hub. Okay, so let's get our boats on these 2 new lines. And I think that's all we need to do. So let's get 2 boats for now. And we'll set one of them on our new cargo barge between Evansville and Cincinnati. And the other one on line 2, which we haven't named yet. And I want to get them both on there. I mean, even though this this one on the Evansville-St. Louis line doesn't have anything to do yet, it does need to start running in order to generate demand. So you're going to go all the way up to Cincinnati, but you know, I guess that's okay because you don't have anything yet to load here. Let's name this vehicle Cargo Barge, Evansville, Cincinnati. And our other one is going to be named Cargo Barge, Evansville, St. Louis. And we're going to rename that line too. Evansville, St. Louis. Okay, so I think that's what we're doing today. And now we just have to wait and see, you know, whether these lines start producing. We can see there's already steel on the docks here in Cincinnati waiting to head south. I head downriver to Evansville, but we're still not seeing any... Okay, it's just starting to pick up. Yeah, what we need to do, see, we've only got 100 capacity now. Now that we've added this second town to supply, it's gonna kick it up to the next level. And our oil refinery, though, can only ship 100 at the moment. This can shoot 400. You know, maybe, you know, what do we need to do to get this up? So we need to get that to 200. Well, we need to get this rate up to 400 if we can. Right now, these crude trucks, they're new trucks. They have a rate of 247. They're close together 15 seconds. Let's get 5 more vehicles here. See if that overloads it. It's always this fine line between not having them stand out. Okay, the rest of our lines look pretty good. We're busy. Wow, still busy here. I think... Let's see. Where are you guys headed? Cincinnati. Are you a passenger ferry? Cargo barge. Passenger ferry. Okay, so we only have 1 at the moment. Yeah, that's right. I was thinking about getting 2. Because I think what's happening is we're having trouble. See, these folks, how many of them want to go on up to Cincinnati? 13. Most of them just want to go to Louisville. So that should be okay. You know what? We're going to let that run. I think that we are... we're good for today. And what we'll do is we'll just close out with a little bit of a ride on our passenger ferry. Loaded passenger ferry, not completely, but 49 people on it. And let's just get up here. Yeah, this is kind of nice. A little bit farther up front. Let's hang out with these folks. Yeah, they like to sit in the front of the deck as they get the views. Nice sunny day, floating down the Ohio. Okay, folks. Thank you very much for joining me. Hope you're enjoying this, and see you soon.